Of mankind, there were beings who walked the earth, creatures unlike anything we know today. Among them was one who would later become the most infamous enemy of humanity. Humans didn't exist yet. The earth was inhabited by a completely different society. At first, they lived in peace, but with time they strayed from the path of righteousness. They began to believe they had the right to commit all forms of injustice. Cruelty spread among them like wildfire. Eventually, divine judgment arrived. God sent an army of angels, and among them were righteous Jinn who chose to stand for justice. Among this army was a commander, wise, knowledgeable, and a guide for the believers. He was elevated among the angels. In fact, he possessed knowledge so profound that he taught it to the angels themselves. He led the divine army into battle. In the end, they triumphed. Peace was restored to earth and he built a great empire. But here's the shocking part. This was the life of Iblis before he was cursed. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you never miss stories like this. If you're ready, let's begin. No matter where you go in the world, in every civilization, you'll find a version of the devil, someone who deceives and misguides people. In Greek mythology, he is Hades. In Zoroastrianism, Ahriman. In ancient Egypt, Set. In the Kabbalah, Samael. In Jewish and Christian sources, Azazel. In Syriac tradition, Azazel. No matter the name, the figure is always the same. So how did this character appear in every major belief system across the world? To understand that, we must go back to the earliest days of creation. Before Azazel became Satan, he once lived among the angels. He even taught them knowledge. Before God created Adam, there was a race on earth known as Al-Jan. After them, God created the Jinn. Since Iblis was one of the Jinn, we learn about the Jan from this verse. And we created man from sounding clay, from black mud molded into shape. And the Jinn we created before from scorching fire. In Christian and Jewish traditions, Satan is often referred to as a fallen angel, but Islam tells a different story. Iblis was never an angel. The Quran is clear and mention when we said to the angels prostrate to Adam, and they all prostrated except Iblis. He was one of the Jinn and he departed from the command of his Lord. What does the name Iblis mean? It means the one in despair, but this wasn't always his name. His original name was Azazel. It said he had a beautiful face and radiated light just like the angels. In the beginning, the Jinn lived in the heavens. The word heavens here could mean another planet, another galaxy, or a realm beyond our understanding. Later, they sought to live on earth. They made a promise to obey God's commands. God allowed it, and for thousands of years they lived on earth. Like humans and Jinn, they had free will. It's said their society consisted of 700 tribes. For a long time, they worshipped God sincerely. But as time passed, they became corrupt, oppressive, and rebellious. God sent messengers to guide them. The first was Hamir ibn Hamir, but they killed him, just as they killed the other prophets sent afterward. Finally, God sent an army of angels, led by Azazel, to confront the corrupted Jinn. Azazel's army fought and defeated the rebels and drove them off the earth. The Quran says, "O assembly of Jinn and mankind, did there not come to you messengers from among you, recounting to you my signs and warning you of the meeting of this day?" After the battle, earth was handed over to the Jinn, and God created a group of angels and appointed Azazel as their ruler, over them and over the Jinn. At that time, Azazel was known for his unmatched devotion. He worshipped God more than any other among the Jinn. His sincere worship did not go unnoticed. By God's command, Azazel was raised to the heavens. It is said he remained in each level of the heavens for 300 years, continuing his worship with unwavering dedication. Because of his deep sincerity and loyalty, his rank was elevated even further. He was allowed into paradise itself. There too, he spent 300 years in worship. Yes, the being we now call Satan was once among those closest to God. The rank Azazel reached was one of the highest and most honored positions imaginable. From that point on, Azazel existed both on earth and in the heavens. All the angels admired him. They benefited from his vast knowledge and regularly attended his lessons. One day, while some angels were reading from the preserved tablet, Allah al-Mahfuz, they saw a terrifying inscription. A being very close to God would one day fall from grace and be cast out of his presence. Alarmed, they rushed to Azazel. When they found him, they were visibly sad. He asked why. They shared what they had read and begged him to pray that they would be protected from such a fate. Azazel replied calmly, "That disaster is not meant for you or me. I've seen that inscription for years, but I never told anyone." The angels pleaded again. So Azazel raised his hands and said, "O Lord, protect us from that calamity." But deep inside, pride had already taken root. It never even occurred to him that the warning might be about him. Not a flicker of fear entered his heart. In another narration, it is said that Azazel himself saw the inscription and asked, "My Lord, who is this Satan?" God answered, "He is one of my servants. I will grant him great blessings, but he will disobey my command. I will humiliate him, expose him, and cast him out." Because of his elevated status, Azazel had a unique privilege to exist freely in both the heavens and the earth. But this special position slowly began to inflate his ego. He started thinking, "I can move between the realms at will. The Jinn and even the angels listen to me." This marked the beginning of Azazel's transformation into Satan. And since God knows what lies within every heart, he decided to reveal Azazel's hidden pride to the angels. From this, we learn a powerful lesson. No one should place their trust solely in their worship or rank. Pride is a dangerous trap, even for the most pious. God then declared to the angels, "And remember, when your Lord said to the angels, 'I am placing a successor, Khalifa, on earth,' they said, 'Will you place upon it one who causes corruption and sheds blood, while we glorify you with praise and sanctify you?' He said, 'Indeed, I know that which you do not know.'" When Azazel heard that a new creature would be created on earth, he felt uneasy. The angels too were concerned. If a new Khalifa was coming, it meant that the earth would be handed over to someone else. At first, Azazel imagined this new creation would be radiant like the angels and would naturally fall under his command, always obedient. But that's not what happened. Once he realized that God intended to create a completely new race, Azazel made up his mind. Just as he had once expelled the corrupt Jinn from the earth with his army, he now believed it was his duty to expel this new creation as well. The Quran says, "And mention, when your Lord said to the angels, 'Indeed, I am creating a human being from sounding clay, from black mud molded into shape.'" When Satan heard this, he began to reason to himself, "If this new creature is made from clay, then earth still belongs to me. I was created from fire and he from dust. Fire is superior, stronger than all other elements, while clay is the weakest." That was his logic. In his eyes, higher origin meant greater worth. But that was only the result of his arrogance and twisted thinking. Adam was formed from clay, and his appearance was unlike anything seen before. The angels and Azazel gathered to witness this new creation. He was massive. His height stretched from the earth to the heavens. Iblis walked around Adam's lifeless body, studying it in detail. He even entered Adam's mouth and moved through his entire body, inspecting him from within. He realized this new being was fragile and weak. Yet even with that weakness, he couldn't accept that a creature like this would be given the earth. God knew of the pride and secret intentions forming inside Satan's heart. And now, the moment had come. Adam would be given life. He who created death and life to test which of you is best in deeds, and he is the Almighty, the Forgiving. The soul was then breathed into Adam. It entered through his mouth, spreading through his body. As it moved, his body was filled with flesh and bones. Then God completed his form, as the Quran says. Then he fashioned him and breathed into him of his spirit, and made for you hearing and vision and hearts. Little are you grateful. God created Adam from clay and said, "Be," and he was. The true nature of the soul remains unknown to us. As the Quran tells us, "And they ask you about the soul, say, 'The soul is of the affair of my Lord, and you have not been given of knowledge except a little.'" In one narration it said that when the soul reached Adam's head, his eyes, nose and mouth, he sneezed. Angel Jibril stood beside him and said, "O Adam, say Alhamdulillah." Adam said, "Alhamdulillah," and Allah responded, "O my servant, upon you is my mercy." As the soul reached his eyes, Adam opened them and saw the fruits of paradise. When he saw the variety of beautiful fruits, he immediately felt hungry and wanted to eat, but the soul had not yet reached his legs. His body was still clay, and he couldn't stand. Jibreel said, "O Adam, do not rush." As the Quran says, man was ever hasty. Until this point, Azazel had not yet been declared Satan. The angels were unaware of what was brewing inside him. Then came the defining moment. Adam sat on the throne of honor, and God summoned all the angels. And when we said to the angels, "Prostrate to Adam," all the angels prostrated, except Iblis. And when we said to the angels, "Prostrate to Adam," they prostrated except Iblis. He was of the Jinn, and departed from the command of his Lord. This prostration was not worship of Adam. Worship is for God alone. It was a command from Allah, just as Muslims face the Kaaba, not to worship it, but in obedience to God. Because Azazel refused to bow, he became a disbeliever. From that moment, God no longer called him Azazel but Iblis. God asked, "O Iblis, what prevented you from prostrating to what I created with my own hands?" Iblis replied, "I am better than him. You created me from fire, and you created him from clay." Then God said, "Then get out from here. You are rejected, and upon you is my curse until the day of judgment." Iblis was now among the losers, forever condemned. But before being destroyed, he made one final request. "My Lord, grant me respite until the day they are resurrected." God answered, "Indeed, you are of those given respite, until the day of the appointed time." Then Iblis declared, "Because you have led me astray, I will surely lie in wait for them on your straight path. Then I will come at them from before them, and from behind them, from their right and from their left, and you will not find most of them grateful." God responded, "Get out of here, disgraced and expelled. Whoever follows you from among them, I will surely fill hell with all of you." According to Al-Tabari, the words madhuman madhuran in the verse mean that Satan lost his beautiful shape and angelic appearance. There's a point to clarify here. Some people claim that Satan argued or challenged God, but this was not a debate. Here we see a servant questioned, cast out from God's presence and humiliated. Later, fruits from paradise were presented to Adam. After eating them, he became drowsy. While Adam was asleep, God created Eve from one of his left ribs. "O mankind, fear your Lord, who created you from a single soul and created from it its mate, and dispersed from both of them many men and women." From that moment, Adam and Eve were placed in paradise. And we said, "O Adam, dwell, you and your wife in paradise, and eat therefrom in ease and abundance from wherever you will. But do not approach this tree, lest you be among the wrongdoers." But as part of Adam's test, Iblis was also allowed to be there. After some time, Iblis came to Adam and said, "Your Lord only forbade you this tree, so that you would not become angels or become among the immortals." Then he swore to them, "Indeed, I am a sincere advisor to you." Satan deceived them both. At first he told Adam to eat, but Adam refused. He had made a promise to God and didn't eat from the tree. So Satan went to Eve and whispered to her. She ate one of the fruits, and when nothing happened to her, she went to Adam and said, "I ate and nothing happened to me. You should eat too." Adam forgot his promise and ate from the tree. As the fruit passed through his throat, their garments suddenly fell off, piece by piece. Their nakedness was exposed. They felt shame and tried to cover themselves with fig leaves. After that, God sent all of them, Adam, Eve, and Iblis, down to earth as a consequence. Descend, being to one another enemies, and for you on the earth is a place of settlement and enjoyment for a time. This is the story of the destruction of the Jinn nation, the creation of Adam, and how Azazel became Satan, Iblis. Yes, in the end, Satan's fate is truly tragic. He fell from a high and honored status to the lowest of the low. From that moment on, Iblis was never again a friend to Adam. He knew he would never be forgiven. He carried a deep hatred for humanity and became a sworn enemy. He vowed to lead them astray, and for that goal, every trap and trick became fair game. As a result, after his fall, Iblis used countless traps to lure others to his side, to deceive humanity and lead them away from truth. We'll talk more about this in the next video. Want to create content like this using AI? Start your journey now and learn everything step by step. Link in the description. Please don't forget to turn on notifications. This story reminds us how dangerous arrogance is, and that even the most devoted servant can fall if he forgets his heart. Tell us in the comments, what lesson from Azazel's story hit you the hardest? Before he became Iblis,